All right, it's on you, partner. It's 8 o'clock.
All right, I'm gonna get this thing started, cuh. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Norman Wren. I am the Speaker of the House. Um, doesn't look like we got very many cabinets here tonight. We got Lieutenant Governor Damian Key. We got
Hello.
Secretary over here of Legislation, which is Morgan Ford. We got Rai, Governor Kuh, Jimmy Dimmick. I don't remember your name.
Oh, I'm Hannah. Hi.
Hannah, which is a state rep assistant. Thank you guys to Weasel News and Daily Globe for being here. We're gonna get this on the road here. This will probably be a short and sweet one. This is pretty much just introductions. This is the very first town hall of the 7th Congress. Not much going on right now. We did have 2 executive nominations that have passed, and that was for Richard Starr as the director of San Andreas Security, SAS, and then we had Liam Kavanaugh that got BCSO. I'm going to go around the room and ask if there's anybody working anything from the legislative branch right now. Anything from Dimmick?
Yeah, reworking the Board of Medicine. Needs to be a few adjustments. They have powers to empower people to start their private practices medical-wise. However, as the oversight body, there's no powers to revoke, so that's going to be reworked. Other than that, just as the budget guy, I guess, the straight treasurer, Public Defender's Office will be expensing the government for private security services due to an active threat. And that's what's in my shoot for right now. PDO have been set up as well with the opt-in fund for private lawyers when they step in for any PDO duties. If PDO is not available, they've been set up with account access and ledger access. So that's all ready to rock and roll. And that's it for me.
Anything from Morgan?
They're not bills per se, but they are, well, I view that they are important nonetheless. I'm working with some individuals to try to get a variety of maps created over the states, highlighting certain things such as proper city limits, speed zones, stuff like that. So the laws that are enforced by boundaries have a clear and precise border. That'll make it a lot easier so people aren't being charged just on someone's suspicion of this is where so-and-so ends and this is where it begins, or that people don't have the right information so that they can obey the laws as well.
I will now pass it over to the executive branch. Damian Key.
All right, hello. The only real thing that I have kind of going on at the moment, recently just finished up surgery the other night, so I'm recovering from that. Additionally, I was contacted in regards to there not being a certain, can't think of the word right now, charge in the criminal code for something that was taken place, and currently going to be working with DOJ, as well as I think Morgan was also contacted about it. So working with DOJ and Morgan to get a bill out to fix that issue that's missing.
Anything else?
I think that's about it from my side. I'll let Rai tell his piece.
Before I open this to the audience to ask questions, for whoever would like to ask questions, I will say that something we kind of briefly talked about before we started tonight is people wanted their voices to be heard. If you look around this room right now, there's only one person here with another one walking in currently. And we can't know what you guys are dealing with unless you guys talk to us. We can't know every single thing that happens in the state unless you guys come and talk to any one of these legislators down here or governor or lieutenant governor on what we can do. So please, like, if there's issues you guys think are arising, let us know so we can work on them. I will now open the floor to any public to ask any questions. Yeah.
I have one.
What up, Ka?
Hello, everyone. My name is Jason Tanners. I do music around the city, and I sometimes use Twitter to advocate for certain things. My question is anybody in the government, whether it's you directly or somebody else in the legislative branch that could be working on redefining prosecutorial discretion? Thank you.
Dimmick, you want to touch on that?
Yeah, I don't think it's in the hopper or on the table right now, but we'd definitely like to hear more and see what you have in mind and what brought that about and what remedial actions are suggested. I'd like to know more. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, of course. My opinion, as much as it's worth, on prosecutorial discretion is, as of right now, it kind of renders the DOJ useless in the current way that it's written, because it aligns LEOs with prosecutors, and LEOs can do a prosecutor's job if a prosecutor is not around, which is what it's supposed to do. If a prosecutor's not around, then an LEO can take their place. But the way it's currently defined is that an LEO doesn't have to contact DOJ. It doesn't outline that they have to do that. And an LEO can just take a prosecutor's position in a certain case that they're working on if they decide to, without even trying to contact DOJ. I've spoken to a few members of the DOJ. I won't name names, but as it's currently written, it's meant for efficiency mostly, but there is a wild sway of power and responsibility towards LEO, where LEO have been, in my opinion, they've kind of gone rogue a little with this, and they, in a manner of speaking, have become judge, jury, and executioner with the way prosecutorial discretion is currently defined. And I think there needs to be a redefinition of some sort of middle ground to where LEO and DOJ prosecutors are able to define their responsibilities more in stone and allow more room for prosecutors to do their job.
I think you have a worthwhile point, and at our first meeting after the election party, I remember all five of us huddling in the vineyard, and we had discussion about transparency for governmental entities and whatnot. So, I mean, that would fall into that as well. I could see, such as the case, obviously you need to have a pretty good line drawn in the sand with rules of engagement, which apparently are not clearly defined. So, one of us, if not many of us, will want to take a look at that as a team. I assume when it comes to that stuff. So,
sure.
Point taken. Absolutely, we'll look into it.
Of course, absolutely. And I think that would be you mentioned transparency as well. And I think it's also important that the people are transparent as well. And if I am a member of the public, I would like to make my position known that I think that is one step in the correct direction of police reform, which is, I think, the ultimate goal. But that's all I have to say. Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Tanners.
Any other questions out here, Ka?
I do. Chelsea Lafayette, the Daily Globe. So one issue that citizens bring up directly when I speak to them is the road safety when it comes again to LEOs. Police officers are often seen honestly running into vehicles, running into pedestrians, sometimes not even stopping to see if there's okay. It happened to me personally. Is there anything that the legislature is planning to do to address this?
Morgan, I'm going to let you talk about this one because this is something you are currently working on.
I'm trying, honestly. I've had an incident where a coworker of mine, before I took my LOE with Top Hat and Enterprises, was involved in a hit and run by an officer. I don't know if anything's came of that, but I'm not sure what we can do at this point. This seems very much on the chief of police and everyone else involved in that command to try to police their police officers. But I don't know what we can do.
Like I can toss an idea up to that. Maybe
Okay.
an independent investigating body. You know, the police are policing the police. How effective is it? So, you know,
Facts.
The only thing that I could think of is taking away the IA of the police and making it into its own thing with everything else. So like an IA department for all departments, one that's not directly involved in any of them, to try to keep away from any unfair bias. But I don't know how well that could be received or if it could even be achieved, and who would run that and who would be interested in it. It's the only thing I could think of off the top of my head.
I have some ideas which I would be willing to talk about after the meeting if you'd like to hear them.
Absolutely.
Another question. So we talked a little bit about citizen involvement at the beginning and the low turnout at this event. Does this body have any plans to improve turnout to get people more involved in the work of government?
At the end of the day, we can only do so much to make people show up. We gave them more than enough notice. Weasel News also ran an article after I talked to them stating that we would have town hall on the third Saturday of every month at 8 p.m. At the end of the day, it just boils down to people turning up for it. Like, if you guys want your voices heard, if you guys want to see change happen, show up and let us know what you think.
Absolutely. I did want to inquire a little bit about the whole IA thing that you guys were talking about earlier. You, Morgan, specifically. What's the current situation with IA? Because I'm not even aware that there was one.
Well, as far as I've been made aware, and this might be wrong, correct me if I am wrong, all the departments have their own individual IA in their departments, and we're not going to be seeing a lot of the rulings that they make on any situation that they have to deal with. Again, I could be wrong on some things on this, but it's all I've really gotten.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I can attest to that because that is correct. I've had an encounter with LSPD some time ago. It wasn't recent, but it was some time ago, and it required me to file a FOIA about the officer's name and badge number and any sort of, I guess, not retaliation. What's the word? Like a corrective behavior. Like what's the word I'm looking for? Reprimanding.
Yes.
Any sort of reprimanding. And my FOIA request included the officer's name and badge number, which I had already gotten myself prior to the FOIA. But all they could tell me in the FOIA was that a reprimand had taken place, not what was carried out or how it was carried out or when. They told me that was they told me that was something that I wasn't entitled to. I think another step in the correct direction for police reform is expanding the power of the FOIA to include that information, especially if it includes an encounter with the public and the public requesting information on it. Then I think that kind of information should absolutely be included.
That might not be possible on a federal level. Let me pull this up real quick. Okay, yeah, that may not be possible, but it still would be nice to know if something actually took place and it wasn't just stated.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, any sort of degree of knowledge into
Yeah.
something like that would be nice. Because we already do get whether it happened or not. If some kind of corrective action was enacted on a certain individual in the departments, we already do get that. It's just it could be like, did they have a meeting? Did they get demoted? Did they get fired? You know, that's kind of stuff that we don't know currently, and FOIA doesn't cover that sort of stuff. So I guess if it's not possible federally, then it is what it is.
Any other questions?
Oh, maybe, Lieutenant Governor Key, you mentioned the bill you were working on, but the description was a little bit vague, I found. Can you yeah, the project you were working on. This is. Could you tell me exactly what kind of loophole you were trying to close? I wasn't like positive exactly what you meant.
I cannot, because if I say what the loophole is, people will take advantage of that until it's closed.
Okay, thank you.
Makes sense.
Any other questions? All right. Well, that is it. My name is Norman Wren. Thank you guys for coming out to the first town hall of the 7th Congress. And we'll see you guys at the next one. Have a lovely night.
Thanks for your attendance, folks.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
Thank
You and me both, homie.
Good night, Gov.
Yep, let me stand up here. Okay, I'm ready.